My name is Josh Tyree. I teach high school social studies with juniors, U.S. history and AP U.S. history at Letcher County Central High School in Whitesburg. I want to talk to you today a little bit about the Modern Classrooms Project and what that really has allowed me to do and opened me up to do in my high school social studies classroom. So first of all, why do we need this idea of modern classrooms? Why a Modern Classrooms Project? The Modern Classrooms Project really intends to do just exactly what the title of the organization and the program says, to allow us to create classrooms that are really modern. When we think about the students that we have, they are social media consumers. And so particularly middle school and my high school students, as they are scrolling something like TikTok, and it is using an algorithm to really tailor an experience for them, that's what they've become accustomed to. It's what they see in social media, that what they take in is something that really has been tailored to them specifically. And so really, those students are no longer having their needs met by a cookie cutter pedagogy. No longer can we bring those students in and say, everybody's going to read this way and do this assignment exactly this way on this pace. No longer can we really just put them in a box and expect them to thrive. They really need something that's tailored to the individual needs. And that's what the Modern Classroom Project really does. So each Modern Classroom lesson begins with this core idea of an instructional video. And so we give the students the lesson information in a recorded video of the teacher actually teaching the content. If you look on the screen, you'll see a screenshot from one of my first lessons this year about the Transcontinental Railroad. And you can see the annotations that I added to the screen. And so the beautiful thing about that is that this video is saved for the student's future reference, right? They can take this video, they can refer back to it later. If they miss class, they can still see what was taught during time. If they're not sure about, lesson 1 and lesson 7, they can go back and rewatch those videos because they're ideally short videos that they can go back and look at. They can be paused and rewound if they missed something, if they weren't sure about something. They can pause it, they can go back and look back at that particular information. And they kind of become this organic product of a relationship with the classroom teacher. So they're not watching some random person online teach, but even though they're watching a video, it's a video of a person they know, who knows them, this teacher that they really have this relationship with, and it really kind of flows organically out of that relationship. One of the key ideas of these modern classroom lessons is that each lesson really is driven by student pacing and choice. So if you look at this lesson on the screen, my students came in on this particular day, they had to watch the video. And then each day there were must-dos that everybody has to do no matter what. There were should-dos, lesson activities and things that they should be trying to do if at all possible. And then there are aspire-to-dos, which are really extension activities. So my lower level students maybe come in and it's a win for them that they did the must do, that they came in and looked at what's going on with businesses during the Gilded Age. And that was awesome. And then my mid-level students got to the should do's and they were able to analyze a political cartoon dealing with that same content. Awesome. And then my really higher level students had a built-in extension activity so that they weren't just sitting idly by and wasting time, but they had something they could go and do. So they may be working at different levels, at different paces, but everybody had something to work on and continue going at their own pace and with their own choice in many of these lessons. And at the end of the lesson, everybody does a mastery check, which really is a formative assessment, which gives me data that I can go back and quickly look at and see who grasped what they needed, who needs to go back and work through this lesson again, or who has mastered it and can move on to the next lesson in the unit. And so again, each day ends, or each lesson, I should say, ends with a mastery check. So here you can see an example of a mastery check from a different lesson that I taught. And there are things that I can look at really quickly and check off. Students are writing it with their own hand, which I think can be really beneficial. Lists 3 reasons why people immigrated to the United States. I can look, boom, 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 and check it off. What was that journey like? I can look over that and see, did they understand the journey for these immigrants? And then the biggie is usually that third question, how did immigration affect the United States? But I'm asking them to do it in 3 sentences. So I can read over it in just a few seconds. And then I can mark, you can't see it on this screen, but at the bottom of this sheet, I can mark whether that student mastered this lesson or not. If they mastered it, then boom, they're moving on into lesson 12. If they didn't master, then that just simply means I'm going to give them some instructions and directions on what they need to go back and rework and look back through in lesson 11 before they try the mastery check again to show me that they have mastered this content. So the Modern Classroom Project is really an interesting and research-based and practical way to give our students a really, it sounds redundant to say, but to give them a really modern experience in the classroom, to give them something that matches the way that they consume media in the modern era, that matches the way that they think, that matches the way that society is trending. It really is a way to update our classrooms and update our instruction in a way that really meets our student needs instead of just being what's comfortable to us. So I'm thankful to the Modern Classrooms Project. I'm thankful to KVEC for this opportunity and for all that this has really opened up for me. And I would encourage you, this is something that's ongoing. You can sign up for the Summer Institute and really immerse into the program and really understand more than I could give you in a few minutes. But it's a great opportunity to really refine your practice and think about the way that you teach and think about how to meet your students' needs and not just do what you're comfortable with.